I gotta be honest. I fucking love getting that W. There's just not really anything out there that feels as good as winning does. And when you're playing Rocket League, that winning feels good. When you pop that goal in there, you get some badass feedback that lets you know you just made a contribution to kicking the other team's ass. Plus, when you're playing an online game, you get that sense of camaraderie that you don't really get unless you're working with other people to, well, beat other people. Just the empty promises, the sweet nothings being whispered in your ear about maybe, possibly getting that W, is enough to make you cooperate with another group of people you've never met like you're trying to solve some fucked up Saw game. But let's be honest, as nice as it is to get a W, right? Everybody likes to get that win. And as groovy as it might be to go ahead and cooperate and interact with strangers you've never met and work perfectly together as a team, there's one thing that playing Rocket League just takes that little like Pavlovian bell in my head to just keep me fucking playing this game. I know you're expecting me to say the loot, but no, it's really the sense of progression you get from actually feeling yourself getting better at a video game. I love playing single player games too, and another game that did this pretty well is Doom Eternal, but more than that, it's something you can only really get when you're playing multiplayer against other people. You know, the sense of progression you get when you play Doom is really fucking fantastic, but it doesn't really compare to going from a total noob where you don't know if you're going to make it out of the game alive to being pretty competent with your skills and being sure that you're going to be a vital part of your team's contribution to the scores. You know, now that I've been talking about it for a little bit, I've noticed that a lot of the same things that I've been saying for Rocket League actually apply for Apex Legends too. You know, in my hunt for the mythic being that is that beautiful fucking W, I've crossed paths with a lot of different games that have a lot of the same mechanics. Apex Legends just tickles that same little center in my brain. It just I can't stop getting that W. That's just natural. I love to work with people as a team. Everybody likes to communicate with people. I love the loot. Loot is good. And that just underlying promise of bettering your skills, it's, well, shit, man, this is a dirty word, but it's addictive. There are two types of addictions that actually exist in the real world. And trust me, maybe I'm paraphrasing this, but you can go ahead and look it up on Wikipedia and it'll back me up, I swear. There's chemical addiction, where it's something that hardwires your brain into thinking it needs it, so your brain stops giving up natural chemicals in accordance to your withholding from the drug. Well, not drug per se, but let's say outside stimuli in this instance. Or there's a psychological addiction, where your brain doesn't necessarily need this stimuli, but whenever you don't have the stimuli, your brain just kind of forgets what it's like to not have the stimuli, so it gets all depressed and mopey and starts listening to Evanescence and shit. And look, you and me, we're both on the same page. I don't want to go outside. Currently, there's a fucking quarantine going on, but even without the fact of a quarantine going on, I'm just not an outside person per se. So, long story short, I'm just gonna fucking love playing my video games. I don't give a shit about whatever the hell a Skinner box is, and I'm not even going into that. You can research that shit yourself. But modern video games are pretty much all designed to keep you addicted through the same kind of technology they used to keep 50-year-old housewives addicted to slot machines. Flashing lights and fucking loud sounds, dude. Oh, and a lot of you guys might have heard me say Pavlov earlier. Well, that's another thing they use. Pavlovian bell is, well, it's an experiment this old European dude did, where he would ring his bell, like he would ring a dinner bell, and his dog would come, and every time he rang this bell, the dog understood, hey man, you ring that bell, I'm gonna get some food. So every time he rang the bell, the dog would show up, but the dog would already have his mouth all full of saliva, like he would be salivating by the time he rang the bell. And it got to the point where he would just not feed the dog every time he rung the bell, but regardless of not feeding the dog every time the dog came to the bell, it would have its mouth all salivating and just ready to eat. And they do that in the games too, because every time I get that you are the champion or that winner announcement in Rocket League and Apex, all I'm doing is salivating for that next fucking screen. Like, I want to get that again. So, it's like, obviously they're doing this on purpose. Video games have become this huge industry where it started from something people did in basements and got ridiculed by Hollywood movies about, to Hollywood movies being made about these fucking video games, and these dudes in basements graduating to fucking huge offices, and the industry itself going from something that made maybe $100 a year on a good note to something that makes billions of dollars. Like fucking Grand Theft Auto 5, I love talking about that game, but that game was made on a budget of over $100 million because they don't even account for fucking advertising budget when they give these budgets out. I mean, I'm speechless, really, because I remember as a kid, I had an NES, and I thought that was the coolest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life, and nowadays I'm playing literal fucking Pixar movies, because, hell, go back and watch Toy Story 1. It was made in 1996. That movie looks like dog shit now. But we're playing games that look better than fucking $1 million Hollywood movies from just like 30 years ago. Like, it's crazy. And if you ask me, there's worse things to be addicted to. I mean, you get addicted to heroin, and the best you could look forward to is having, like, your... Shit, I want to talk about the ending of Requiem for a Dream, but I don't know how friendly YouTube is with just the word dildo, so I don't even want to mention what happens at the end of that movie. But you're talking about things to research. Research the end of Requiem for a Dream, because, goddamn, people do some fucked up ass shit for heroin. Heroin is some fucked up ass shit. The worst you really get from getting addicted to video games is maybe an aversion to sunlight, and, well, I mean, shit, you can have a World of Warcraft wedding, but yeah, that's not really so bad because you find love and all that. And love is nice. You can find love through video games. Shit, that's not a bad addiction. Well, I mean, technically, I guess you could find love through what happens in the ending of Requiem for a Dream, but you know what? Now, I'm gonna get off that subject. Like anything else in life, really, because something a lot of people don't like to talk about is the fact that you can pretty much get addicted to anything. You watch too much TV, that's an addiction to TV. You like having sex too much, that's an addiction to sex, that's nymphomania. Coffee in the morning, you drink too much coffee, cigarettes, alcohol. You can create an addiction to pretty much anything. The important thing is that you try to live healthy. You recognize that you're building an addiction in something, take steps to maybe go against it. You find yourself smoking cigarettes, maybe don't smoke so many cigarettes, or don't smoke at all. Stop drinking so often. Don't drink to the point of excess, etc., etc. Stop fucking so much if you're an nymphomaniac. The important thing is that you make an attempt to live healthy. And in just trying, just like bettering your skills in a good video game or getting that W, eventually you'll get better at it and it'll be easier to do. Anyway, that's all the ranting I have to do for this video. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't enjoy it, well, fuck you. If you did enjoy it, then why not leave me a like or tell me down below what you liked about it. I like hearing from you guys, because I'm lonely. Again, thanks for watching, and catch you next time.